still got a K house in Hopkinsville. Yep, right there by Clarksville. Right by Fort Campbell. Home of the 101st Airborne Division. Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Outstanding. I grew up not far from Clarksville when I was a kid. Part of the time. We have 63 degrees and rain here today. Alright, I just want to address some things right quick. I've done a little digging and got some information that can be helpful to some people. Some people will try to twist it, but there's nothing to twist. Fort Hood, Texas. Yep. First off, thank you for the gifts. First off, I'm going to address Miss Kaylee. Miss Kaylee. Miss Kaylee. Shame on you, young lady, for saying that somebody was stolen valor. And shame on you for making fun of somebody that was hurt serving their country so they could give you the right to get on YouTube and spew your bullshit that you do every day. I want to tell you, ma'am, Kaylee, Ansley, you can go fuck all the way off and lick my asshole. You and your sheep. You like to call everybody else's sheep. You and your sheep like to run with everything. And when you don't have any proof, you like to go with a narrative. I seen a clip of you making fun of me in a wheelchair. Called me stolen valor. Well, let me say something to you, Miss Kaylee. Let me get a little closer so you can see me good. Miss Kaylee, people, I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but people that serve our country don't get these. You don't go to the dollar store. You don't buy them from Walmart. You don't order them from TikTok. You don't order them off Amazon. And the top of that says United States Armed Services. It shows my rank of First Sergeant E8. And when does it expire? Let me show you. It expires indefinitely. Indefinitely. Means I'm retired. Means I did at least 20 years. At least 20 years. So you, ma'am, with your stolen valor comments, and you're mocking me because I'm in a wheelchair, you, ma'am, can go fuck off. Now, what's on the screen? You guys see some pictures of helicopters. There's some Army Good Conduct medals on your left. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 Army Good Conduct medals through 22 years, 8 months, 4 days. on the right hand side, you got some more service ribbons. And what do you know at the top of that? Top of that is Bronze Star. That is one of the higher awards that a service member can get. Bronze Star. Not only did I receive one, thank you for the gifts. Not only did I receive one, but let me show you something. The first one is a Bronze Star. That's the first one, the original. It says the United States of America to all who shall see these presents greetings. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America is authorized by the executive branch 24 August of 1962. That's when this award, they started issuing this kind of thing. Is awarded. Below that it has my personal information. That's why it's closed up. That's the first one. The second one says, the United States of America. This who shall see these presents greeting. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America, by the Executive Order 24 August 1962, has awarded the Bronze Star First Oak Leaf Cluster. What is an oak leaf cluster? Oak leaf cluster means you not got one, but you got two. So I have a total of 2 Bronze Stars. And I'm sure I just I'm sure I just bought them off Walmart. Unreal. Unreal the shit that she spews. Second of all, here's another one. Me standing in front of the CH-47F with diapers and bottled water. Why would I be standing in front of a CH-47 with baby diapers and bottled water? Well, do y'all remember the Hurricane Katrina? The U.S. government, FEMA, has asked that the United States military, all branches that have aviation, that'd be the Marine Corps, Navy, Army, Coast Guard, to provide relief for said people. So in this order was baby diapers and bottled water. Was it sad? It absolutely was. It was devastating. Absolutely. Was it fun? Absolutely not. Morning. Thank you for the gifts, Andrea. So before you have and say somebody's stolen valor next time, maybe you shouldn't just speak out of your ass and let somebody do whatever it is that they're gonna do. Kaylee. Also, under the Department of Veterans Affairs that I'm entitled to, I have TRICARE that takes care of most of my medical. I have TRICARE for life. But not only that, I don't know if y'all pay attention or not, but on the back of that wheelchair is a United States Army emblem. And the only way that you can obtain this is with the VA purchasing so said wheelchair. And you have to prove, of course you have to prove anything to be approved by the VA. So it's not bullshit. So I wanted to get that out of the way to start with. There is a reason why they hate you, Kaylee, and that's because you're a liar. Miss Ansley, Kaylee Ansley. Alright, enough about that. So there's that. Now, on to other things. Thank you for the galaxy. Here's what I'm gonna say. One day last week, after last weekend, I should say after last weekend and the weekends before, Miss Gabby was showing Cam on live. Yep, I can turn the music down. I can turn it off, matter of fact. Let me turn it off for you. That's better. I had a legitimate concern because she's under a DCFS parental plan. I had a legitimate concern that she was still showing this child online. So what did I do? I filed a complaint. It was a legitimate complaint. It wasn't a bullshit complaint. She knows that she's not supposed to be showing him on social media. She has said over and over and over and over again that it's her child and that she should be allowed to do what she wants to do. To that, I say, no ma'am, you are not. You are not entitled to exploit your child online to receive gifts, money, wish list, attorney's fees, etc. to drop it. No ma'am, that's not how that works. So I had a legitimate concern that she was showing him. So I called DCFS. They give me a direct, I won't say email, it's kind of like a online portal that goes directly to her, either caseworker or supervisor. I didn't ask which one it was. And I expressed, in my opinion, that what I thought she was doing was very harmful to that young child, and that it absolutely should not happen. I told her I had this concern, and she was continuously showing him, not like solid all the time, but she was showing him enough to let us know that, you know, he's supposedly there, right? So I filed the complaint. In that complaint, I just stated what I just said, that I had the concerns, a legitimate concern that she's still showing this, and that she claims to have this child full-time in her custody, and I am very alarmed that she still continues to show him. And that I didn't agree with it, that it was a problem that she has, that she can't keep things private, anything. Anything in her life is never private, nothing. Not even intimate relationships with her own other. She does not keep private. At the end of my statement, I said, if you would like to contact me, here is an email address that you can use, and I give her the email address. Or you can call me at this number, and I give her my cell number. Now mind you, that was like beginning of this week. So I figure I probably won't hear nothing. I probably might even get, I might even get just like shoved to the side, right? So I really didn't expect a reply. Not even as much as an email. Why I'm getting dressed this morning, because I am on Central Time, because of the part of the state that I live in, it's Central Time, and east of me is Eastern Time. I get a phone call, and the lady said she was with the Department of Child and Family Services, and that she had received my request or my complaint, and she would like to discuss it. So we discussed it. And what was discussed was, I told her that I had the concern, as I stated in the form, in the complaint, that she was continuously showing C on a regular basis when she has, to make us believe that he's there full time. She iterated to me, her exact words were, he is not in that household full time. Yes, the parents do have visitation rights. She didn't tell me what days that they're allowed to have these visitation rights. She did not at all tell me on certain days, let's just say, for instance, on Mondays and Fridays, or Tuesdays and Thursdays, or Tuesdays and Saturday with an overnight, and go home on Sunday. That's kind of been the pattern, as we've seen. Usually Tuesday and Friday or Saturday through the weekend, right? That's pretty much been the gist of it. And he's gone by Sunday evening. She assured me that that child is not in that home full time, and to not worry. What they are concerned about is the number of calls that they receive during the day that are absolutely frivolous calls, as she put them. They're frivolous. People trying to get information when they shouldn't be trying to get information. She said there's at least 50 a day, at least. And that they're really tired of it. They're overworked. It's holidays. They have a lot of things that they have to coordinate this time of year. And that they would kindly ask that everybody, unless you have a legitimate concern and not some bullshit excuse, to please stop calling, because it hinders them from being able to do their job and investigate. She did let me know that he was in a foster home that was really wealthy. I asked her what the process was to how to become a foster parent, because I'm not familiar with that. She said it's a very lengthy process. You have to go through a extensive background check. Your home has to meet certain requirements. You have to have accommodations to support that child, to have a bed, etc., food, this type of thing. The child they know is not going to be in any harm. She did tell me that he was at least approximately an hour and a half from Gabby. That is what this worker told me. And for people not to worry, that they're doing their best, but as we as we know for sure, she says, this process can take a long time. She says sometimes that these cases can be dismissed as little as 6 months if the parent does exactly what they're supposed to do on the timeline that has been set by the court system, I guess you would say, or by DCFS and the court. The court places this parental plan on the parents, and that absolutely, these things, they have to follow. She did state that in the first 60 days that both Aaron and G both was supposed to have a psych evaluation done, and both of them were supposed to start parental classes. She did say that Aaron did comply with these guidelines. He did what he was supposed to do in the first 60 days. What she did say was Gabby did not comply with the first 60 days and attended one class in the first 60 days. Within this first 60 days, she did one class. So then I take it from the conversation, she says that they was made aware of that one of the parents was not complying, and that they were mandated to comply, and was notified that they were not complying with what the Department of Child and Family Services has recommended, or the court has set, that they absolutely should she should comply with said outline that they have outlined for Miss Gabby. Since that 60 days, she has started complying. We know that she did the psych evaluation because it's all over the internet. She shared it with I don't know how many people. I don't know how many people that is. She absolutely did. And that she has started somewhat or is doing what she is supposed to do according to the guidelines that were set, right? Is she totally in compliance? No, she's showing cam. The worker said, with my concern that I had wrote, that she understood the concern, and that under no circumstance is any child that is in part of the DCFS system if that's what they've been doing and that's why they're on a safety plan, they are not supposed to have that child on the internet or any social media, not just internet but social media. None. And she says it's very overwhelming. She says, but looks like she has been doing better by not being on there. And I said, ma'am, she's on there all the time. And she says, what do you mean? I said, well, she was on just like last weekend showing C. And she's like, I don't see nothing on this account that I have. And I said, well, do you mind if I ask you, do you have these set accounts? I showed her the Justice for Gabby and Cam. I told her about the Chaos account that she's using. I told her about some of the other ones that she's using, and she said she was very unaware of these accounts that were being used by her. She didn't know about the Beast account. She did not know about that account. She said she did not know. She had no clue. She said they do not have a so-said TikTok account. But she says when she searches for Gabby's name, there's all kind of stuff that comes up. And she does not know actually what belongs to her and what doesn't. So I give her the accounts that I know of that are active. And she said she was appalled that this young lady has this many accounts on here, and she wrote them down. She said she wrote them down and she was going to look into them and pull whatever it is that she needed for the investigation, for the court, or whatever she's going to do with it. I don't know. She didn't say. But she was very shocked to know that she was still doing the things that she did in the first time. She was shocked. Like, she had no words. But she did say that she asked if I did streaming or how I learned about this, and I told her I have an account on TikTok. It's small. I'm not a nobody. I do it just for fun and pastime, and that I do it to have company and whatever, because I'm retired, I'm disabled, I'm home, my spouse works, my kids are at school, and I have my puppers at home with me. And she asked that please, for the love of God, please don't tie the Department of Child and Family Services up. Please don't tie them up, she says, because it takes away from the real cause that they do need to take. But because of all the fraudulent calls, they can't get to who they need to get to. And she says it's not a good thing because there's plenty of kids that do need help, but they can't get to everybody and they're overwhelmed. And she said this time of year, the caseworkers are doing things like planning trips and this type of thing. With that being said, planning trips, it is my opinion, she didn't say it, but I'm going to say it, it's my opinion that the foster parents are taking C to Disney for Christmas. That's my opinion. Now, whether G found out whether or not they was going on a specific day or whatever, could be she could have found that out somehow. I don't know this. But I did tell her that G and Aaron were planning a trip to go to Disney. She showed shirts that says Mom, Dad, and the boy. His birthday, yeah. and that she was planning on taking him, and she wasn't going to tell anybody when she was going, that we would know that she is going when she goes silent. We're going to know. She said this out of her own mouth on her last stream that she did. Well, as many of you know, she was supposed to have a dentist appointment Thursday, she said, at noon. She said this. This come out of her own mouth. So I'm guessing from the sound of it, by looking at, somebody said Danny's live last night. He has mentioned, I think, they said, I don't know, I haven't watched it, that Danny has mentioned, she has mentioned, that they are at Disney World. Which is not shocking. I figured it would be on the 1st because she said she wanted to keep him out of school, or on Monday, the 8th, because she wanted to keep him out of school, and etc., right? That was my initial thought, and I'm probably sure that was probably many of you's initial thought. So there's that. So whether she met the foster parents there and happens to try to meet up with them, or what the case may be, I don't have no answers to that. I'm not going to tell you something that I absolutely do not know. I do not know. So before anybody tries to twist my words up and say that I said specific days of the week that he has visitation, I have not. I have not disclosed where he is, who he stays with. She didn't offer that information at all. She did not give me any names. That's not my knowledge to know as a citizen, to just call in and get where a child is staying, a name of who he's staying with. That is not how that works, and that is not okay at all. I did say something when she was talking about the accounts, that she has a wish list up for them, that people have bought presents and what have you, and that I thought that, well, to be honest with you, I don't know what she thought she was proving by that, other than when she gets visitation, she's going to say that she gave it to him from her and Aaron. She's probably not going to tell them that, the people from TikTok is absolutely bought these things, and she's going to say they're from Aaron. We know that she's been dry bagging. She dry bagged for the Jeep that she brought in the house the other day that she said was broken. She was dry bagging then for somebody to buy a new ride-in car, because she said she got him one, but it's not very good. We know this, right? So this social worker or supervisor, whatever she was, just to reiterate, she did not give me specific days that he was there. She did not give me a specific location, like who he was staying with. She did give me no names. That's all private information. She just said he was in a safe household, that he is being taken care of the way he should be taken care of. I did express that I think that the visitation that he does have is undoing or reversing what the foster parents have done as far as teaching them how to speak. I said that his speech is a whole lot better than it was. He was supposedly potty trained. He's got out of that, right? So, and you can look up the sort of Florida Sunshine Law, but they're tired. They are tired of people calling and just keeping on because they can't do their job. So she just asked me if I would just please ask people, even if it's just I have 10 people or 5 people or 10,000 people in here. I don't know. This is more than I've ever had, but anyways. That please do not call. Please don't call unless you actually have a factual, legitimate case or a legitimate concern that is threatening to the young man. To please not call, and please let them do their job. They can't do their job when they have flooded with calls. They can't. And that she thanked me for my time. She thanked me for doing the report, and that it would be looked into. She didn't say she would give me a call back. She didn't say that. She didn't say that. She just said it would be looked into. But it is my personal opinion that, sadly, I think DCFS is overloaded. And sadly enough, I think once she completes her class and whatever, right? I think they'll probably at the end of that and at the year, and if they don't find that these videos that they're going to find online violated the safety plan, that's not going to be for me to decide. That's for the Department of Child and Family Services to decide. Sadly, and I hate to say it, but I think that he's probably going to end up back with them. That's my opinion. And I really would hope that would not be the case. I really would. I'm hoping that they investigate the whole thing. They go and look at all these accounts and look at the pinned videos. I'm sure they have. I'm sure they're in the process of working on it. Deleting the accounts isn't going to do any good, because all they'll do is petition TikTok for the accounts and the videos and have them sent to them. They'll get a court order to get them sent if they need to be. If not, they'll just go, if they can catch them still alive, they'll go on and look. That's just how that's going to work. But they're not going to tell, at this point, they're not going to tell who the child is with, what days of the week he's going to get visitation, what day he has visitation, what time he's picked up, what time he's dropped off. They're not going to do any of that. They're just not. That's just, it's just common sense. She asked me, did I live close to G? I said, no ma'am, I do not live close to G. But if I did, I can guarantee you that, for one, I would not never call her. I would never text her. I would never email her. I would not FaceTime with her. I would not have any discussions with her. I would not stalk her home. I would not call the police on her. I would not call EMS on her. That's not my concern. If she needs help, she has a telephone in her hand. Aaron has a telephone in his hand. If there's a way she needs help, she has a way to get help. She has 2 phones in her own home that we know of. She has, one of them she says has no service, according to a body cam that was showed, and the police told her that, hey, it doesn't matter if the phone doesn't have service or not. 911 always works on a phone. Always. And for the people that's saying I need attention, I don't need attention. I could care less. I don't care about attention. Aaron's got a phone. He's constantly watching G. So if she must fall out online or something, or have a medical emergency, he can call for her. We don't need to call and do this. My only concern was that she was continuing. Again, my only concern for doing this wasn't to cause trouble, but it was simply to bring awareness to DCFS that she is continuing to put him on live video when he should not be here. She should keep him off. She says 100 times, ain't I done better? Ain't I done better I've done better by not showing him. No, ma'am, you have not. You have continued to show him when you know that it's not so. Doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. So just know, people that are truly worried for C, that he is not in that house full time. He is not. Yes, she has visitation rights. As a parent, they cannot take that away from her yet. They have to go through the court system, and it has to go through that way. So yes, she is entitled, sadly enough, she is entitled to visitation. Now, when she completes this supposed class that she says that she's changed the date twice on, first it was this past Wednesday and now it's next Wednesday. I don't know. We don't know. We don't know whether she's telling us the truth or not, because she very rarely tells us the truth on here. We know this. So I'm going to say that that, they do get visitation. And sadly enough, there probably will end up with him back in a year, probably, because she is complying as of now. I take it that she's complying, because she's supposedly going to be done next week. We shall see. I don't know. So, that is all I have to share. I don't have a reason to make up a bullshit story. I'm not going to gain anything by it. I'm not gaining a thing by it, by telling you it. Everybody always wonders about C. I think it's sad. I don't have a thing to worry. I mean, I worry about that child. Listen guys, I have 2 kids of my own, as you guys both, as everybody knows that follows me on a regular basis. And obviously there's not 414 of you. At the most I have in a live at one time is mostly, I average 50, okay? So we're 300 and something over what I normally do. But I do thank everybody for coming in. So I am going to say this. I'm going to say and ask that you guys please do not make calls if you don't know something that's factual and misleading and tying up services that doesn't need to be timed out. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's the gist of it. Did she say she was going to call me back and let me know? Most people would say, well, they're going to call me back and let me know, what they found out and this and that. No. She absolutely did not say that. She did not. She did not say that at all. She did not. Nookie, get out if you don't like it. I'm tired of seeing you in the chat. Just leave. Oh Lord, Crazy B, I can't recap, babe. It's too much. I'm sorry, doll. I really am. But I'm gonna reiterate this one last thing, and then I'm gonna be done with this subject. C is not in that household full time. He is not. And yes, they do have visitation rights because they are his biological parents. They are not married. That's why Gabby has a different last name than Aaron. We know this. We're not dumb. So, with that being said, that's it. That's all I know. Now, what they're going to do with this information, with these accounts, this Chaos account and the Beast account, and this Justice for Gabby and Cam, I have no idea what their intentions are. She didn't explain that to me. That's not any of my concern what they do with that account, with them accounts. That doesn't have anything to do with me. This is not my, that's not my, she is she can't be with him alone. She's not supposed to be there. For instance, she did say that G is not allowed to be with him alone by herself with him. Absolutely not. And that she is not supposed to be in the house with him at night when she has sleepovers, that she is supposed to go elsewhere to sleep. And she stopped at that. Now, whether they're breaking that rule or not, I don't know. I guess they are. My assumption is that my opinion is that they are breaking that rule. But that was, I didn't bring that up to the lady. But I'm sure she's going to see it when she sees the Chaos account and the Justice for Gabby and the Beast account and all these other accounts, right? She's going to see this stuff for herself. She's not going to hear it from me, but she's going to see it from the video. She will get with the court system. She will get with the court system. Absolutely. If they find it feasible or needable, that it's a valid concern that they need to investigate further, or they need to terminate their parental rights or whatever. But as everybody knows, Gabby has one attorney, Aaron has his separate attorney. Why is that? It's because they are not married. That is exactly why. Are the cases tied together? They absolutely are tied together, because when you go to look at the cases on the Lee County courthouse, the numbers match up. The case numbers are the same, so it means them two are tied into the same case, right? Somebody from DCFS got a hold of me through a complaint that I made and reached out to me to see what I knew. So they're not married, so the court system says they have to have separate attorneys. We already know Aaron's scared of G for some reason. I don't know why. He's scared of her. I don't know what she's got on him. And for everybody that thinks Aaron has got a bad background and this type of stuff, he does not. He does not. He's got a judgment for, and I'll say this, he's got a judgment for collecting insurance money on a house that got flooded. They was issued money to fix the house, and they didn't fix the house, and then when the house got either repoed or turned over, the stuff wasn't fixed, and they went after him for breach of contract. So that's what Aaron has on him. That's it. And some evictions from different places. Gabby, we know, has the domestic violence. She has a speeding 15 to 20 miles over the posted speed limit. Driving with a communication device in her hand, which would be a cell phone, and failure to obey a traffic control device, which could be a stop sign, a red light, any of that. So I don't know why Aaron's afraid, but I have a feeling that he's afraid. I don't know. Maybe he's afraid she's going to maul his face off again. I don't know. I don't know why the man's afraid of her. If I was in a toxic relationship like that, I would be out. I would be gone. I think I read something where she was either caused an accident or involved with an accident, and somebody said anyway, somebody had perished, but it wasn't due to the accident, I don't think. I think it was just due later on, after the fact, that person had perished for whatever reason. I don't know. I did ask at the beginning of that conversation, by the way, could I record the call? Florida is a 2-call party state. She said absolutely not. So no, absolutely not. And she reminded me that Florida is a two-party state and that no phone conversations is to be recorded without the acknowledgement and acceptance of both parties. Period. That's law. That's Florida law. I don't make up that law. Some states are one party, some are two. So no, absolutely not. You can't do it. With that being said, I'm kind of interested in what this attorney, I don't know if any of y'all know that I called the attorney yesterday about this money that Gabby has collected for this attorney. And I got a receipt that looks really like invoice that's really suspicious. There's lots wrong with it, including the amount of money that was posted on the receipt. I don't know if y'all seen that floating around on the internet. I'm sure you have. It's been floating around. But I called and questioned about it, and they told me that they would absolutely get back. First she said she'd put me on hold and let me talk to him, and then she come back and said a few minutes later that he was currently in a meeting with another attorney for a court case that was today. They was in a meeting, and that they would absolutely call me back within 24 hours and be glad to either give me the invoice, because I told her that people had donated, such as my spouse. I'm going to say it was my spouse. She donated a little money with her Cash App, just because I knew that they would do these type of things again. And that receipt that you see floating around is not the same. The logo is different from one. Just lots of things with the cursor. There's a cursor actually on the invoice where they did the screen print. Like, come on, make it make sense. A law office has professional software that bills. They don't have screened pointers on the screen in the corner. Well, they took a screenshot. That's not how that works. Attorneys have law degrees for a reason. So I'm waiting for a call back, and we're going to see what this attorney tells me. It's going to be interesting to see what he tells me. Yes, Tiffany does have that receipt posted on her page if you would like to see it. It's kind of quick and kind of blurry, but I think it's the best that she could do. It's the same one that I got. So, I mean, guys, I don't know what else to tell you. I'm not gaining anything by telling you this. I'm not gaining a thing from it. It's not benefiting me in any way. At all. It's not. I might got a few followers. I might have lost a few followers. I don't know. I don't really care. This is just a pastime for me. So, it is what it is, guys. All I can say is, if you're religious seeking person and you believe in prayer, please pray that the things go the right way and that child stays safe and not have to go back into a home and be put back in the same situation that it was in. Just pray about it. I don't know how many of you are religious and how many of you don't believe in religion. That's not for me to decide. That's going to be between you and your maker at the end of the day. Am I a perfect person? I'm absolutely not a perfect person. I have many flaws. So, let me see. Let me see if I can... I'm going to do this, but if you guys start being unruly, I'm going to end the live, and then... that's going to be that, and I'm not going to say anything else that I find out about it. Hold on, I'm looking for something. Alright, I've invited two of you to come to the box. I'll do like two at a time because I can't do the everybody talking over the top of each other. I've got a headset on. It would be absolutely too much.
I can recommend a couple of them.
Hello. And she dropped. So all I ask is to be respectful. I'm not saying that you don't have a voice, because you do have a voice. Everybody has a voice. Swifty, can you come up in the box? She can't right now. Okay. Pink, you're in here. Pink, can you request a box?
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
afternoon.
How are you? Can you hear me?
I'm good. I
Okay.
can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can. Well, it's
What
good.
would you like me? Would you like me to say a prayer? What would you like me to do?
No, I just wanted to know if maybe you have a question that I didn't answer,
Well,
that folks are asking that I didn't see because the chat is like flying and I don't see everything.
the only question I saw a few times that you didn't mention, and I'm pretty sure it's not something you would have asked about, was med checks or,
No,
anything.
no,
I mean, that is clearly
no.
stepping into confidential information.
Yeah,
But I mean, I can, I'd like to back you up on a statement. First of all, it is completely reasonable to question why or whether a DCFS official would give you this information. Fair enough. I get that. I understand that. I don't know that any of us know exactly what the parameters are of what they can release and what they can't release.
right?
Of course, I, it's the same way that I am questioned when I have told things without receipts, and I do understand that. And that's why I said, what are you looking for? A recorded phone call? Sometimes there is not a paper document to back things up. And all of us that are listening have to make a decision on credibility. Does he sound credible or not? Take it or leave
Yeah. I mean, I'm not
it.
here
I
to
mean,
twist their
agree
arm.
with it or don't agree with it.
Right.
Um, I do think, that I do think that all of us obviously are curious what has been going on. The most important thing, my takeaway is honestly that they told you the volume of frivolous phone calls and, about probably silly nonsense things that
Yeah.
are just, clouding up their resources. And I truly did not think that that was happening.
She said
And
there was at least 50 a day, at least.
I mean, that's just seems crazy to
And
me.
she says that it's
But
absolutely just astonishing, and that there's no way that the call center can handle that kind of call volume and handle the the true calls that need to be answered, that need to be seen about and actually be investigated. They don't, because of
yeah,
they getting the overwhelming calls, and it's just a waste of resources. So honest, it's bad.
yeah.
And
And
this
the
time
other,
of year, she did say that they scheduled trips for foster kids and stuff like maybe take the kids to see Santa Claus or just whatever they do. I don't know. I didn't ask specific, but she just said that they schedule events for these kids at this time of year, and with the call volumes and the load case and all this, it's just really hard for them to keep up, and it's just not feasible, and unfortunately, they're not getting any more employees. They're not, and so they're stuck with what they have because the state has a cap on the budget that they're allowed. So they're not hiring anybody new to try to help, litigate some of this stuff. So of course they're overwhelmed.
So, yeah, that I don't think anybody can disagree with that as being what you constantly hear from that organization. Can I ask you, just because I'm curious, when you mentioned the Disney trip came up, like, can you remember exactly what you said and she said that made you think that the foster parents
She
were
we
actually
was
taking the trip?
she had mentioned, the stuff about they do things, this time of year for families that are foster parents and the stuff. And she had mentioned, she says we do lots of things like go see Santa Claus. We take some to some theme parks like Disney. We do take some to nursing home to see the elder sometimes. You know what I mean? They coordinate that. So, for the people that are in nursing home that don't have anybody to see. She said there's many of things that they do. And my question was, well, if G is going to Disney and maybe sees foster parents are one of the ones that receive this gift from, Department of Child and Family Services, or maybe the foster parent did it on their own. I don't know the answer to that. I didn't ask that question specifically, but it makes me believe that G somehow knows by talking to C that he's saying he's going to Disney. So what does she do? She gets somebody to give her tickets to Disney. You know what I mean? We know she's not well in the head. So of course, if
So,
she thinks that child is going to be at Disney, she's going to try to show up the same day as him, hoping that maybe, possibly, that she gets to see him. You know what I mean?
but what did she say that made, like, she acknowledged they knew that he was going to Disney,
She
or
did.
no?
She did acknowledge that they are aware that there is a trip coming to Disney for Christmas time. She did, though. She did say that she is aware of that.
Okay.
She didn't tell me whether it was G and A gonna take them. She didn't tell me it was the foster parents. She just said that she knows that there is a trip scheduled to go to Disney.
Okay. So you just came to that conclusion because she had, as far as your opinion, you came to that conclusion because she had said that that is something typical they do at this time of
They
year with
she
foster children.
she said
Take them
that
to
is
amusement park.
she said that that is something that is one of the couple of many things that they do during this time of year. That they do Disney, they do MGM,
Okay.
they do the nursing home thing, they do Coco with Santa. Sometimes they get them together and take them to parks if the weather's permitting, because she is further south in Florida. So the weather, I mean, it's maybe a little cool, but it's not like unbearable. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And they do,
I just wanted,
and they do calculate. They do set up events for like people to get like-minded parents and foster parents to like meet in groups at like parks and stuff to get to know each other and let the kids kind of like mingle with each other. You know what I mean? She says they do
yeah.
that. That is a thing. She says that they do.
Okay. I just wanted to make it clear that that really is just your opinion based on the
Yes,
conversation
yes.
and
That
how it
is
was going.
that is
Okay.
my opinion. That's how this Disney trip has come about. That maybe C has said something to G about, hey, I'm going to Disney, you know what I mean? Because he's a kid, he's 4. I mean, he's gonna say things, and you can't, you know what I mean? They're unpredictable. You can't predict what they're gonna say, right?
Right.
So I mean, maybe he's mentioned it, and then she got the grand idea that, hey, let's go to Disney. Hey, he's got a birthday coming in January or December the 8th, so let's go to Disney. Let's get shirts and let's beg for money and get gifts and let's do it. So there.
So, okay. And again, just to reiterate for the comments that this can't be true because DCFS is not illegally or legally allowed to share this. Whatever you think, he's offering the details of a conversation he had. Again, believe it or don't believe it. It makes sense to me. I believe you.
Listen,
There's
I
nothing.
even asked, and I did it on purpose. I even asked for specific days of the week that C was allowed to be with Aaron and G, and she absolutely refused to answer that question. Flat out told me that she could not give me that type of information. That's definitely not. So to me, that was like drawing a line in the sand and saying, hey, I'll let you have this much information and that is it. And she's not going to go past that. That's what I got off that conversation.
Yeah.
So she's not, she's going to give me just what she's factually can give me, but she's not giving me names. She's not giving me dates. She's not giving me where he's staying. She's not giving me where he's going to school. She's not giving me when he goes to the doctor, when he goes to the dentist, whatever. She's not giving me any of that. That is all private information that I should not know as an outside person looking in. That should be not anything that I should even know about. And it's specifically because it's for the safety of the child and the foster parents. Period.
Yeah.
I mean, it just
Yeah.
makes sense. So, but I did ask at the beginning of it, can I record this call? And she said, unfortunately, I cannot allow you. Absolutely not. So, if I would have recorded that call and went ahead and did it without her knowing, and me put it on this here internet, I'm probably going to have the police department knocking on this front door within days with paperwork in their hand that says that I have violated whatever Florida statute, and they're going to give me silver bracelets, and they're going to take me down and handcuff me to this wheelchair, and they're going to roll me
And
down to the jailhouse, and I'm going to sit there until I see a judge.
okay, hang on, Angela, join a box and please, could you and Brownie please provide your proof that he is there? The fact of the matter is, none of us know with certainty. This man is sharing what he was told this morning in
And
a
I
phone
and
call.
I've been
What did he
very
say?
I've been very respectful to Brownie, and I've told her, look, everybody in here has a voice, and I'm not here to take anybody's voice away from them. I'm not one of these people that will block you for having a voice. As long as you being kosher and not starting trouble or whatever, I'm good with her. Cause people in the chat had problems with Brownie being in my live and they wanted to throw her out immediately. And I said, absolutely not. I will not do it because Brownie has a voice. I won't do it until
I
she
respect
does
that.
something to make me just like totally not agree with her and just throw it, you know what I mean? Have to put her out or mute her. I don't want to do that. I don't. Because I think
Um,
everybody should have a voice.
and just to reiterate the beginning of this, is your phone call was specifically reporting that she is putting him on live.
That was,
And
yep,
I I mean, to be honest, I believe you in what you were told. I am not sure that I believe that they didn't have these accounts, but that doesn't reflect upon you. And this happens when you deal with different employees, different roles on a team that is assigned to a case. Not
correct,
everyone might have the same information. Maybe you talk to the caseworker and it's only the case manager that has the actual responsibility for monitoring her TikTok live stream.
correct.
We don't know that.
She
I'm just
didn't,
trying.
she didn't clarify to me whether she was the worker, and she didn't clarify to me that she was the case manager. She didn't say. She did not give me that information. She just said she was with the Department of Child and Family Services and that she was aware of this case. She is familiar with this case and she wanted to discuss my concern.
And right there, that explains you really don't know if you were talking to somebody that has the actual facts of the case. So you gave the screen names that you're aware of.
Correct.
Um, but any any side conversation that you got into with this person really wasn't the intent of your call. It
No.
was a conversation that evolved. You're sharing it, believe it or not. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Well,
But
I mean, I just kind of think that she's not doing any like real justice by putting him still on the internet when that's how she got in the predicament she's in to begin with.
yeah.
That's the whole
Okay.
thing. That's the whole thing. I mean, it is what it is. So,
All right. I'm
but
gonna drop
but
down.
no,
Thanks
there. I mean,
for
it
the
ain't
invitation.
like she's gonna type me out a message, a big long 15-page conversation, and say, "Here, share this."
Right.
Listen, they're
Absolutely.
already overrun. I mean, they are. They're already overrun with calls. So, no, they're not gonna do no such thing. Absolutely not.
Okay. I'm gonna drop down if
Okay.
anybody else wants to chat
All right.
about it.
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep. Let me see who's
You
in the
drop me
queue.
down. I
Okay,
can't.
I will. I got you.
Okay, thanks.
Let's see here. Hello. Maybe I'll go ahead. Can you hear me? No. Guess not. Okay, love being. Go ahead. Hello. I guess you don't want to talk.
Hey,
Hey.
I think people are accidentally requesting boxes. simply because of how it's laid out. They hit that request and they don't
Okay.
know it.
Right.
Can we tighten it up?
I'm using I'm using TikTok Studio, so I don't know. Let me see if there's a way I can change the grid. I don't know.
Oh dang, I have no idea how to do that then.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me look and see. No, it doesn't. Well, let's see here. I can expand the box.
And I jumped in late, but I heard Pink ask about like the plans for Disney or whatnot. Now I do remember watching a live where Cam was in the background, and it was definitely on a visit because he hadn't been there, the previous lives. And Cam kept talking about Disney World, and Gabby was like visibly annoyed by him saying Disney World, and she's like, "Yeah, Disney World." And then it was only like maybe a week or two later that she announced that they're going to Disney World.
Well, I mean, the assumption.
So I think it was the foster, whoever was the foster.
Yeah, the assumption was, or the conversation was, the lady said that this time of year they do different things with different foster care parents. Some do theme parks such as Disney and MGM, and others do things like nursing homes, meeting Santa somewheres, this type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, but it was just my opinion that I thought, well, if the foster, and she wouldn't tell me if it was the foster parents taking him, and she wouldn't tell me that it was G and Aaron taking him. She just said that she was aware that he is going on a trip that they are aware of, and I assumed that it was Disney, right?
Yeah, didn't Danny confirm though today or yesterday that
and I haven't watched
there?
it. Somebody says that it's there, right? So my thing is, I haven't looked at that video yet, which I'm going to. We're going to look at it live ourselves here today. But somebody had said, I had seen something where somebody had said that Danny had mentioned that G is at Disney. So
Yeah.
so there is that, right? But, she said that she had the dentist yesterday at noon. And when she didn't come live yesterday morning holding her jaw and complaining about how bad her tooth hurts, or
She
how
didn't go to the dentist.
how happy she is to go to the dentist to get this so-called tooth taken care of. There's more than one in her head that needs fixed. I mean, that's obvious by her showing her mouth that she needs some dental work done, right? And then lunchtime comes, still nothing, because she said she was going to take pictures and go live from the chair, etc. Nothing. Yesterday afternoon, absolutely nothing again. Well, she had just said the day before that, they're going to know anyways when we're going to Disney because I'm going to be quiet.
That's true. Somebody in the chat just said that A mentioned it was the 5th.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Today's 12/5. So there's that. So
yeah,
maybe
because she would have definitely come on for sympathy of like, oh, I have to have this tooth extracted, or if they did pull it while she was there, oh my gosh, my mouth hurts, or I got to take a new antibiotic. She would have definitely done the medical
the
pity
woe
party.
is me. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
So there was that. But like I said, I did have questions for that lady, and there was questions that she absolutely refused to answer. She said,
How did you get in contact with her?
I originally called the DCFS hotline and explained why I was calling, and she said that because of the high volume, after I give her the name for Gabby, that she would send me an online link that goes directly to whoever's handling that case.
Okay.
And so it had place to put my name, my address, and then it has a comment section. And then I asked the lady before she sent it to me, I said, well, it may be kind of lengthy. Is there a character limit to what I can send on this form? And she said, absolutely not. You can send as much as you need to send. It's not limited. Because, some of these sites limit you to like 5,000 characters or 10,000 characters.
Right.
But she said, no, this is open to as much space as you need to report your concern. And in that concern, I specifically said, at the end of it, this is my email address if you would like to email me, or if you would like to call me if that's better. Either or, I'm good with either one of them. That's fine. And I give her my cell number, and I give her my wife's cell number. And so I left it at that. And I figured, you know what? I'm going to get blowed off. They're not going to contact me at all. I'm not going to hear anything. This was like Monday that I sent this. It was Monday. Monday was the day that I did this. So when Wednesday rolled around this week, I figured, well, they're not answering me at all. They're not going to do it.
Okay.
So...
but then I'm watching the chat, and I know someone just mentioned about that Florida girl.
Mm-hmm.
I did mute her for the live because she was stirring the pot and just aggravating everybody else.
Should have just blocked her. I don't like her no way.
I didn't block, but I did
I'll
mute.
block her. Send me, DM me and send me her thing. I'll block her.
Okay.
But like I said, y'all guys, look, I'm not gaining anything off this. I'm not getting money. I mean, I'm not gaining any notoriety off of this. I mean, I'm just not. It's just not so. And I just wanted to make aware that, that they are currently working on it. And as you guys can go look for your own self, if you go to the Lee County Courthouse, you'll see that case does not have a dissolution date on it. So therefore, it means that it is still open and it is still current. So it is still going on.
Chat is asking for a recap of what they all missed. I know you just went over it, but will you run through it again?
Yeah, basically, Chad, I made a formal complaint that she was being online. It is confidential online. You can't see what the status is, but once it's closed out, you will see a dissolution date at the end of that. Just like Feisties was confidential at first, and then when the case was over, it now shows a dissolution date. Anyways, what I did was I made a formal complaint, and my complaint basically was that I was concerned for C because Gabby was still showing him online doing the same behavior that she did before, and that I would like to make them aware of this situation if they wasn't aware of the situation already, and that it is what it is. And so I would just had a few questions that I would like to ask, and then basically give them a name, an address, email, telephone number from me and my wife. And so my wife also too, and I've said it on stream before, my wife is a mandated reporter. She is a school teacher for the state of Florida. So with that being said, when she hears these things and I'm playing them in the bed, and if she hears them, she's responsible for reporting such things, right? Because she's mandated to do this. I mean, that's just how it is. So she told me that to go ahead and make a report, and if it didn't work, she would make one herself. That wouldn't be a big issue. So, and then I also asked my wife when Gabby was on saying about the trampoline and stuff, and Joy said absolutely not. No school district in the state of Florida, period, would have a trampoline at school because it is definitely a liability. So that is not so. She said that is absolutely not. That is not. So anyways, the girl basically, so the lady called me back and she told me that basically that Aaron and G do have visitation rights because they are parents. They do get them twice a week, but she would not tell me what days. So there was no days mentioned. She didn't tell me it was Tuesday and Saturday with an overnight. She didn't tell me it was Monday and Wednesday or Monday and Friday. She said she didn't give me any of that information, so she didn't disclose any of that information. She did tell me that he was with foster care. She did tell me he was in a good home, that he was well taken care of, and that he is not real close to her. He's at least an hour and a half, is what she said. At least an hour and a half away from him. So there's that. She did not tell me what school he was at. She did not tell me, just many things that people are wanting to know that they're not going to disclose. They're not going to do it. When he's there, when he's not there. She did say that they do house visits. I asked, was they random or was the parents notified when they're going to do it? She said the parents usually get notified the evening before they're going to do the house home visit, she said. And my assumption was the day that G went and got her hair done at Mimi's and she stayed at Mimi's all day, I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, that was on a Tuesday, and Cameron was supposed to show up to be at that house, and G stayed away long enough for them to come and do that home visit to show that only Aaron was in the house. Right? Make sense? So there is that. Sorry, B, I missed your thing. Let me go over here and look. So, there's that. Like I said, I'm not gaining any.
Hi, sorry.
That's okay.
I didn't mean to get up here, to be honest.
You're fine.
It was an accident a while ago.
Do you have a question?
Well, but it don't pertain to this, so I'm just going to wait on it.
Okay.
But I'll ask you later about it, okay? And I did not mean to get up here as an accident.
No, you're perfectly fine.
Someone told me I wasn't allowed in this room, but I just wanted to prove to them that I was allowed in this freaking room.
Listen, I tell everybody, all 962 of you in this chat, if you're respectful, and even if you don't get along with somebody in this chat, I don't usually mute you. I don't kick you out for having a voice, because I personally agree that everybody has a voice and should not be silenced. You know what I mean? And so, unless you're doing something that's really vulgar or you're trying to cause trouble, them are the only reasons you're going to get muted and blocked. That is it.
Well, you got a little troublemaker in your chat now, and I didn't want to say nothing, but...
Okay. Well, speak up. Because I can't...
Chevy, I do not have no crush on you, girl. I do not want nothing to do with you. Leave me alone. She's changed her name to Crazy Bee Has a Crush on Me.
Okay. Well...
And she told me I didn't belong in this room.
Oh,
so I want to prove to her I do belong in here.
Yeah.
Who'd you say it is?
Crazy Bee Has a Crush on Me. It's what she changed her name to.
Delete her.
I'll try and find her.
Find her and
you
just
guys,
put her out. Guys, come
Chevy,
on,
see, this is what you get. Leave me alone, Chevy.
Girls, guys.
I wasn't going to say nothing.
Army,
I am so sorry.
No, you're fine. Ladies and gentlemen, look, we're all grown adults here. We're all over the age, at least most of us are, over the age of 18. Can we please act like we're 18 and above instead of 12? I've never seen such stuff going on the internet like this. It's just overwhelming sometimes. And sometimes I just can't do it. I'm all about trying to have fun and, you know what I mean? Just have some conversation with good people. And, I stream G because she's totally off the charts and she continuously lies about her situation and she does vile, disgusting things. Everybody, of course it's drama. Of course it is. You know what I mean? So of course I'm gonna stream her. It is what it is. But I'm starting to stream other people too that are just about as bad as her. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, it's not going to make a difference to me whether it's not going to make a difference to me whether I have 981 people that like me, to follows me in here constantly, or I have 10. I would rather talk to 10 people that like me for who I am and what I stand for than have 974 of you in here that doesn't like me at all, that want to cause trouble and run back and forth and say, well, he said this or he said that. That's why I said I don't want any of this stuff to be twisted, that I said certain days and all this, because it was not said. There was no certain days mentioned. There was no certain times mentioned. Any of that. The lady didn't offer me any of that information. She didn't have to. That's information that I do not need to know. For one, that would be stalking, right? And it's like I told the lady. She asked me, did I live close to G? I tell her no. And I told her I live probably, God, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours away from her, probably, be my guess. I don't know exactly. And that even if I did, I wouldn't go to her house. I wouldn't call the police. I wouldn't call the EMS. I wouldn't contact her by phone. I wouldn't contact her by email. I wouldn't FaceTime her. I wouldn't do any of these things, because it is not any of my business to get these services involved. It is not. Period. I would just had a legitimate concern that she is still putting him on this internet. And she said that is exactly wrong, and that she offers way too much personal information that should not be on the internet, that should have stayed private between her and Aaron. Should have been the only two that has this paperwork that's floating around on the internet. Period. She said
And
this.
Army did not have to tell anybody anything.
I did not. I could have kept this to myself.
Yes, he could have. But he wanted to let everybody know, because everybody cares about that baby. And that's the only thing that we care about, is that baby.
Listen, guys,
He did not have to let nobody know. So y'all in the chat, get off him.
I have two.
But I'm going to jump back down and
Okay.
cry. And Chevy, I do not have a crush on you, Cupcake. Sorry. I know you want me to, but I don't. You have a great day, Army.
You too. Listen, guys, I have legitimate concern. That was the only reason why I called, because she continues to do the same thing. Let me see if I can get somebody else, because I've got some guests here. I'll do a couple more. Let's look. Let's see here. I'll pick them at random. Let me do this, and I'll do this.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. Hey, so I want to say this before I forget, because my ADHD brain, I'll forget what I'm trying to say. I see a lot of people commenting about like that, DCFS, no one would do that. And I also saw a lot of those same kind of comments. And this, please do not take this as I'm defending G. In reference to the medical documentation, because I 100% think that was fabricated. But I want people to realize that, like, although we think, and this is coming from, I'm a medical provider. I have been for almost 30 years. So this is coming from I know how things work state. Being, especially like ER documentation, things that go on in these types of organizations, it's not a cut and dry. Every single person that you get is going to do the exact same thing the way you should think that it would be done. Right. So just because we would assume that, maybe DCFS is going to have a certain guideline that nothing is going to get released, that does not mean that the person that you got on the phone, and just because of like the way I am, the way I perceive you, I would assume that you're, a trustworthy, caring person. And I could see where someone would feel a little bit more comfortable probably giving more information than what they might to just anybody who calls. And I think a lot of people aren't realizing what information she gave you was very general. It was kind of general information. It wasn't anything specific to just G. It could be related to anybody that's in DCFS care.
Correct.
And that's where there's a difference in that kind of information. And as far as like you reporting something, I see people saying, you know, we were told to stop calling this, that, and the other. I get that, but you calling, you said that they didn't know about these other accounts. And I also know, and I think that I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but I think it was Tiffany who said that the police didn't know that she had changed her account names.
That's correct.
So there are times when it is important to do another follow-up call, especially like you said, your wife's a mandated reporter. Those kinds of things matter. And they didn't know that she was changing her name. And I really think that that's probably why she has been changing her name, is so that she can duck and dive around them, because she knows they're watching. But if she changes her account names every week, they're not going to know who to follow.
Well, the woman did say that when, you know, she was aware of one account, right, that she knew of. She knew of that account, but when she went to look at that account, there hadn't been any activity on it for a long time.
Yep. And
I said, are you aware, just as of like last weekend, she showed C, and she's like, no, I don't see this. And she says, well, when I Google, when I search her name with the little hourglass thing on TikTok, I see a bunch of accounts, and I don't really know what's hers and what isn't, because everybody's sharing videos. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's when I specifically told her, okay, I know for sure that these 3 accounts for sure she has used personally herself, and these are the accounts. The Beast account, she said, the what? I said, the Beast account, the Beast, and it's got a picture of a troll. She has Justice for Gabby and Cam, and she has the Chaos account.
And she also has the Silence the Cyberbullying one too.
Okay, well, see, that's another one that.
Yep, and she'll randomly skip around too, and that's I believe that she would be doing that because she knows they know what one to hone in on, and she probably heard Tiffany. Again, I'm sorry if it wasn't Tiffany, but I'm pretty sure it was. Say that, you know, they didn't know about the Beast account initially, so she's probably figured, okay, I can get around this. Not only ban evasion, but also I can do what I want to do because I think I can do it, and they're not going to know I'm doing it, or at least take a while to catch on because they don't know what accounts I'm on. And that's also, you know, a problem, because if she's not supposed to be doing that, we all saw her pick up him. He was sound asleep. She picked him up. She immediately said, I need to do something, and then went and picked him up, scared the crap out of him, and then it carried him into the bedroom. For what reason did you do that? Other than you wanted us to see that he was there.
Well, my understanding is when he has the overnight visits, my understanding is that he's only supposed to be there with Erin on the overnights, and she is not supposed to be there.
And that's why I think another reason why she's been flipping around a lot too, because Erin's been doing so much door dashing and he's not there. And so she doesn't want them to realize that Cam's there without Erin.
Right. I agree to that.
Yeah, so I just...
That's it. But like I said, guys, I'm not here to gain numbers. I'm not here to gain money. A lot of people have been asking, you know, where's Cam? What's up with him? We want to know. We want to know. Poke, 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 poke. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, and I had a legitimate concern, and I filled out the request like I was told to do, and that was the response I got. The lady didn't give me anything that would be specific or damaging to the case. She just did not, and she made it clear that there's a line in the sand, and she is not going to cross that line. She made that very clear. And when I asked her, is it okay to record this telephone call because I would like to record it, and she said, I'm sorry, but absolutely not.
Yep.
So I said, I get it. And I said, I understand that Florida is a two-party state, and I will respect your wishes and not do that. Period. So, I don't know what else to tell everybody. So either you can believe it or don't believe it. It doesn't, I mean, it's not hurting me either way whether you believe it or not believe it. And if you don't like me, great. Unfollow me and don't look at me. If you like me, stay. Either way, but either way it's not going to affect who I am or what I do. I'm not sheep. And I don't tolerate being talked about and calling stolen valor and this and that. I've showed you guys a military issue ID from the Department of Defense that says I'm an E8 First Sergeant, retired, when that ID was issued to me, and the expiration date on that says indefinite. So that means that is good until I pass away. Once I pass away, then that ID becomes invalid. And I would have showed you the back of it, but on the back of it also has my government name. Also on the front of it has my government name, and I don't just throw my government name out there like that. Sorry. Not gonna do it. And shame on Kaylee for making fun of me because I'm in a wheelchair.
Absolutely.
Shame on her. I did service to this country so she could have a right to sit over there and run her mouth and do what she does. And for that, I was mad. And when I seen it, my wife was there, and I was mad, and I got mad and stormed off. I can walk, guys. I just use the chair because it's easier. I can walk, but I don't walk very well. I stormed off, and I come back, and my exact words to my wife were, I bet she wouldn't have that same energy if she was standing here, because if she did, I'd pick this chair up and I would stick it on her head. That's how I feel about that.
Sorry to interrupt, but coming from healthcare background, that is definitely, and I have a whole bunch of autoimmune, so I'm in and out of the hospital and whatnot. That is a nurse that is dangerous.
Yes, 100%. I'm in the nursing field as well, and that she literally, I can't even watch her anymore. I used to watch her when she covered like the Brian Santos stuff, and I started to go away from her when she got Jordan involved, and then when she went to G, I just could not. I can't even stomach her anymore. She does not. She's just horrible. I hate that she even can call herself an RN because it's just disgusting.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
She's dangerous, and no patient should ever be subjected to her.
Nope.
I think it's sad that somebody has a degree in nursing and acts like she does on the internet.
Absolutely.
That's disgusting.
Absolutely.
I think that somebody, and I'm not going to say that I would do it or I ain't going to do it, but I think somebody should call a nursing board and let them know that, hey, what she does is unethical and that she needs to be investigated.
And what's sad is that she thinks that isn't an option. Like she thinks that what she does on here, and I'm like, no, girl, there's a code of ethics in nursing. It's a very strong code of ethics.
Just look at Faith Gone Fishing. She had a nursing license and she was acting wild, a couple years ago on this here, and she lost a job because of people calling and her behavior. She lost a job where she was living because of that.
Yep.
She was an RN. So Kaylee she can do what she wants. She can make videos and she can say what she wants about me, but it is what it is. And so, but I don't pay any attention to her. She doesn't bother me. But shame on her for making fun of me being in a wheelchair, and shame on her for stolen valor, saying I'm stolen valor when I've clearly showed proof that I've got awards and stuff from the U.S. Army, United States of America, U.S. Army. So there's that. And I don't have to prove anything to her. So she can just go find somebody else to harass. She can do what she wants to do. And so...
Can you clarify real quick? Because I don't think that you said that she told you that they get overnights. I think you just said that she said they have 2 days a week. Is that correct?
She said
Because somebody's saying that you said overnights.
she said they get 2 visitations a week and possibly an overnight stay. And if she is to have an overnight stay, G is not to be there.
Right. Okay. That's or not to be alone with him.
She can't be there with him.
Oh, okay. Even at all on the overnight.
No, not on the overnight.
Okay.
So I took that statement as that she is to go stay with Mimi or Danny or somebody when he is there for the overnight, and come back during the daytime when he's awake. That's how I took that statement. So,
in which I could see that the way she is at night, sometimes being up till 3 a.m. on making noise and.
Well, Connie, I'm sorry that you think that you're sorry that they told me that information, but it was nothing personal information that was damaging to the kid. She didn't disclose his location where he was living. She didn't disclose times that he was allowed to be with Aaron and G. She just didn't. She just didn't disclose that at all.
In my mindset, I honestly kind of wonder too if they are getting that many calls a day. If it wasn't that, like I said, if I would to talk to you on the phone, like I would feel like you're a legitimate, like honest person as far as like what your intentions are. Yes. And I would almost wonder if she didn't like maybe say a little more than she probably would have, just because that might ease some of the situation of all the calls and stuff coming in.
Correct. So I just, I did it because I had a legitimate concern. Other than that, I wouldn't even bothered with it. I would not have. I would have just left it alone. But I think that he doesn't need to be shown. I think it is a risk. It doesn't take but not even 10 seconds if he's outside and she turns her back for somebody to grab him and be gone, because she all the time asks or says what she tells everybody exactly what they're gonna do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and and Coco got out that one day, so clearly, like, he can be unsupervised for a long enough time.
And just like in his bedroom, like, where's the supervision? Because on the back of his door, she had to hear him marking on that door. She had to hear it. And the back of that door is so scratched up with permanent marker, it's crazy. Like, how could you not hear that if your child is in that room? Why would you not hear that? I mean, I would hear that if I'm paying attention to my child. He's 4, right? So he's gonna get into things. That's what typical 4-year-olds do. I don't get it. So, anyways, that's all I can tell you. The lady did not say she would call me back if there was any new information or any of that. She did not. So I won't know any more things about that until maybe G leaks it or the case is over with, but it is what it is. So, yes, peace, love, and happiness. Go to Nookie 5150 or go to Cantina Crash App or go to, gosh, I don't know. There's a bunch of them on the internet. Just type in Gabrielle Jacobson. You can pick from there where the videos are. So if you're a G supporter, I'm sorry. You've been hoodwinked into money that didn't go where it was supposed to go, I'm afraid. I don't have proof of that yet, but when I get proof of that, I will definitely show it to you that it didn't go where it said it was supposed to go.
Army, do you mind if I share my perspective just quickly?
You may.
Thank you. Also, I appreciate you. Thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
I have watched you on and off for a bit streaming, and I don't know what you would have to gain from making anything like this up. And your character in the times that I've seen you streaming does not scream or demand views or attention. I like to look at people's patterns of behavior, and I don't see that in you. So I can't imagine you would come online and just make up a bunch of things for views. It doesn't make
No.
sense.
No.
That just doesn't make sense. But what does make sense in my mind is DCFS has been inundated with calls for a very long time about the Jacobson family.
Yes.
And this person picked up the phone and spoke to you after reading probably a very heartfelt and intense email that shared a lot of information that was new to her.
Yes.
And I can only imagine working in that field, high emotions are involved. And I believe strongly that she shared very generalized information. However, there was probably some emotion behind it, and maybe she shared more than she wanted to, or maybe she was more emotional than she wanted to be, but I firmly believe everything that you've said is true.
Yeah, I don't
That's
have,
how I want
I
to
don't
say
have
that.
a thing to gain by, I mean, come on, I mean, look, I don't care about views, I don't. I just do this to have something to do. You know what I mean? So I'm not gaining anything by lying or coming on here and telling people what they think they want to hear or what they don't want to hear. You know what I mean? There's
I
really
believe that.
there's no point in that. I mean, really, it's really ridiculous to think that's. I mean, there is people that do it for clicks and money, right?
Right.
Guys, look,
I
my
don't
last
see, I don't
my-
see that in you.
my last week payout, guys, was $16. I'm really making it big on TikTok, right? So I mean, that's not it. It is just not it. So,
And Sarah, I agree with exactly what you said. That was you said it a little bit better than I did, but and I work in addiction medicine and mental health field, and it's very taxing on the caregivers in that situation. So
I can imagine.
so for him to have called and had a legitimate reason to call and have just the conversation that I'm sure they were able to have together, it was
Right.
probably almost like a decompression session for that woman also.
I believe that too. I believe you're exactly right. That's nail on the head right there. You know, these people, like he said, they are inundated with calls, overwhelmed, overworked, and seeing children in circumstances that are so terrible and unfortunate. And I can only imagine that she probably did have a bit of a release of emotion. And I know that they probably are supposed to refrain from sharing that kind of emotion, but at the same time, you're a human and you can only do so much.
Yeah, at some point the steam blows out of the top. It just happens.
I
Well,
understand that.
but like I said, there was a. I felt like, as a metaphor, there was a line drawn in the sand that she was not going to go beyond that. She was
Right.
not. She absolutely wasn't. And believe me,
Yeah,
I
I think
approached
she knew
it.
very well what she could and couldn't say.
I
and
approached it with a couple questions, and she just wasn't going to answer it. She's just not. You know what I mean?
Good
Yeah.
for her. Good for her.
And that's good.
That's wonderful.
I
Yes,
didn't.
that's
I
wonderful.
didn't really need to know that, but I wanted to see if she would offer that information, just to kind of see what kind of a person she would be, or what she would offer and what she wouldn't offer. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
but-
You know, that gives me hope as I work with three, sometimes four different child advocacy agencies, and that gives me hope because sometimes CPS and DCFS get such a bad rap,
They do.
and that gives me hope because she knew where the boundary was and,
Yes.
and wasn't going to go across it, but it also gives me hope for C that they are looking out for his best interest, because if she were to divulge any information that was beyond that boundary, it wouldn't have been in his best interest. So I'm glad that she did that. Anyway, Army, I just wanted to share my perspective where I saw it coming from.
Yes, ma'am.
Again, I think that it was probably very emotional
It was very
for
tough.
both of you.
It
For
was.
both of you.
It was because I
For
have
both
kids.
of you.
I don't know if y'all are aware. I've got two kids. I took on these two children when they were small. Their father left them when they was young. One of them was 7. The other one was about 10 or 11 when he left them. And he has absolutely nothing to do with these two kids that I have now. And they're very intelligent, bright kids. Matter of fact, my son, When we had him in school, he kept coming home saying he was bored. And I understand he's very intelligent because my wife is very intelligent. And his biological father is very intelligent when it comes to computer software and this type of stuff. So, of course, the child is going to be intelligent. So we had the guidance counselor at school give him an IQ test because she said she felt like maybe that he wasn't being stimulated enough, or he was understimulated and being bored, and that he needed something to be more stimulated. So they actually give him an IQ test. And when they brought us back to the school, when that test come back, and she set us down, me and my wife, she said, you know, you have a pretty smart young man here. And she says, we haven't seen these type of scores in years. And I said, is it that bad? And I'm thinking it's bad, right? And she's like, no. She's like, let me show you. And she turned that monitor around, and his IQ was 141, which is in the genius level, right? So he was in the 9th grade then. She wanted to put him into the 11th grade. And we said absolutely not, because his mind-wise, his intellectual part, he's there. But his physical form and bodily form, he is not there yet. You know what I mean? He's still a young kid. You know what I mean? So we would not agree to any going from 9th to 11th. We just wouldn't do it. We said absolutely not. But we did agree to let him go from 9th to 10th. Skip out of 9th and go into 10th instead of going to the 11th. We said one grade probably wouldn't be so bad intellectual wise. You know what I mean? As smart wise he's there, but as far as bodily wise and, you know, just growing, learning how to grow and this type of thing, he wasn't there yet. So we just felt comfortable enough to let him get out of the 9th grade and go ahead and put him in the 10th, because this was like at the beginning of the school year. So they'd only been in school like a week and a half or something at that time. So needless to say, anyways, regardless of that, he graduated high school at the age of 16, and he is now 19, and he just got married 3 weeks ago. He has signed up for the Air Force, and when I took him to the Air Force recruiting station, the recruiter asked me, how well do you think he will do on an ASVAB test, which is Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, is what that stands for. It sees what they know in a broad range of things, right? And so the minimum requirement to enter any uniformed military service is 31, right? He says most people that come in there that take that test the first time score in the teens, like 16, 17, right? But you got to have a 31 to get in as a minimum. So he asked, would it be okay if he goes and takes a practice test there to kind of give him a ballpark figure of where he's at and what he might need to study on, right? And so I said, well, it's not up to me. The boy is, you know, he was 18 then. I said, he's 18. He's a grown man. He makes his own decisions at this point. I'm just here for moral support and to try to guide him, because he was doing college. He has 77 college credit hours. He was really uncertain which way or he wanted to go. You know, he changed majors so many times in college, and he was going nowhere as fast. So they give him the test there at the recruiting station. It's a practice test. And he come back and he scored an 86 on the practice test. And he did, mind you, he's never studied for the ASVAB at all. So the recruiter said, well, I'm going to go ahead and send you over to the place that does the real ASVAB test and see what you do, because I think even at 88 you're going to be good to do a lot of jobs that would be beneficial to him that he could use outside once he gets out of the military, right? So he did take that test. He did go take the test, and he come back to the recruiter, called him and told him, I would like for you to come back here because we get the test results It's like instantaneous once they're done. We're able to go into that system and pull that information immediately. So we met with him after he called me when he got done. We went back to the Air Force recruiting office. He pulled his scores up, and out of 100, he scored a 95 out of 100. So I thought that was pretty amazing. Right? She's gone. So, to say that, he chose to do special warfare in the Air Force. He leaves December the 15th. He goes to boot camp at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas for 7.5 weeks. He does additional 12 weeks at Shepherd Air Force Base in Wichita Falls. And then on top of that, then he has to go to Eglin Air Force Base, where he will be there for 22 weeks. He will be there for 22 weeks to figure. And his MOS is what the Army uses MOS. The Air Force calls it something different. All the branches use a little different terminology. But basically he's going to be an EOD, which I think is like, I don't know that I would do that job, but I mean, I guess somebody has to do it, but it's explosive ordnance disposal is what it is. It deals with ammunitions and bombs and this type of thing, right? So that's what he's going to do. That's what he's chose to do. I think he'll do well. He's an outgoing person. He runs every day. His physical fitness is on point. He's already doing what the military says he has to require to graduate basic training. So, I mean, I think he's going to excel. He's got married now. He's got a young spouse, which is older than him. He's 19. She's 20. They've dated for the last 4 or 5 years. They absolutely accompany each other. They're just good together. I also got a 15-year-old daughter, and she is in I guess you would call it kind of like a private high school or a charter school, more like, I would say charter school. It's sponsored by FSU University. She's taking college credits as a sophomore. She's already earning college credits. So when she graduates, she's going to graduate not only with a high school diploma, but she's also going to graduate with an associate's degree. So I think we did pretty well by raising our kids the way that I think they need to be raised. And not all families will agree with my parenting, just as I probably wouldn't agree with everything how you raise your children. We may not all agree the same way, and that's okay, because we're human, and so that it is what it is. So does anybody else want a box? You can let a couple more up, Andy, if you want. Hello? See somebody trying to log in. I don't know if they're going to make it or not. Gosh, guys, I can't recap again. It's such a long recap. I'm sorry. But just know that C is safe for now. Just know that he is safe. I think Magic Mama's, her internet must not be good. So anyways, guys, I appreciate for the most part of you being in here and being kosher. I understand that not everybody's going to agree with me. I get it. I understand. We're not all going to agree on everything. We're not. It's because we're human. We all have minds. Use them, please. And for Kaylee, go sit on a cactus and spin. I'm not worried about you, girl. Go somewhere else. I'm not worried about you at all. And shame on you for picking on the handicap. There's that. Girl, go do something else. You're failing at what you're doing. Go be a nurse. I hope you're a better nurse than you are a streamer. So there's that. So if anybody has any other questions or concerns, my DMs are open. I do read them. It may take me a minute to read them. But yeah, I don't have to show anything. I don't have to prove anything to anybody, but I will prove some things. But I'm not going to prove everything because I don't have to. I'm a grown man. I make my own decisions. I'm not a sheep, and I do what I want to do. I don't do what you want me to do. I can think for myself. I take care of myself with no help. So that's how I am. I'm sorry if I come like kind of straightforward with it, but it is how I am. I was in the Army and I was a first sergeant and I was responsible for 200 plus troops, and I had to have the mindset of this is how it is, and it's either going to be done that way, and if you don't do it that way, I'm sorry that you're going to get the consequences that it is. It's cut and dry. And there I am doing the hand knife again, because that's what we do as soldiers in the Army, and I caught myself doing it again, and I haven't done it in years, but here I am with the knife hand. I'm sorry, but I didn't mean it in a bad way, guys. So we're going to listen to this stuff from Danny from yesterday. I don't know what it's about. I haven't seen it. I haven't watched it. I have real life things that go on at night after my wife gets home, because I don't get to see her very much during the week because my daughter has dance and guard and all these things that teenagers like to do, and my wife leaves at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I don't get to see her until 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night, and I'm in the bed most of the time with medications that make me sleepy. So there's many a days that I don't even get to speak to my wife, but just for a brief second in the morning before she leaves for work, or when she kisses me goodnight at night. That's it. It's a cruel reality, but it is what it is. And I'm sorry. I feel like I fail my family sometimes, and I feel bad that I don't do enough, but I think what I do contribute to this family has been positive. So with that being said, I'm going to restart. And for y'all that like to come back in here and absolutely want to watch this Danny live with me, you're welcome. If you don't and you want to go to other TikToks, you're free to go wherever you want. I don't tell anybody where they can go, where they can't go, etc. Again, I like to thank everybody, for most of you, for following the rules and regulations and being polite to each other. Thank you for that. And for the ones that didn't, shame on you, and you're no longer here. And I'm sorry that you have a million backup accounts and that you come back in here and you think that it was necessary that you keep coming in here, like the Nookie account. I don't know who's behind that account. Don't really care. I'm not going to study on it. It is what it is. And so I'm not going to say sorry to them guys, but I do appreciate the ones that do like what I do, and it is what it is. I'm a pretty straightforward guy. If you ask my wife, she'll tell you the same thing. I tell my kids exactly how it is, whether they like to hear it or not. Facts are facts, and things are done a certain way, and that's just how it is. And some people may think it's cruel, and some people might agree with it, and I just call it doing the right thing, so my kids become productive citizens when they grow up, and I don't have to worry about them being total shitheads on the internet. So there's that. Anyways, I'm gonna go. Thank you guys for the taps, the shares, the likes, the gifts, which was very grateful, but it was not necessary. Absolutely not. And if I would have thought about it, I would have cut the gifts off, but I didn't. But any little bit helps, and the money I make always goes to my puppies. As you see, they're treated very bad. They're over here in the dog bed, and they've got dog beds in the living room, and they got a big king size bed at my house. in the master bedroom, California King, and my daughter's bedroom door is open, so they got plenty of beds. They got a couch and love seat and recliner, and you name it, they've got it. They've got clothes. I keep my dogs in diapers to keep them from having accidents in the house, because one of them's in heat, and they like it because they like the comfort of it being on them, and so it is what it is. So see you guys in a few minutes. I'd like to thank the mods for doing your job today. I know it was kind of tough and hard. You're going to get people that believe it and some that don't. That's fine. It is what it is. So, anyways, I'm going to end this live. I'm going to restart, and we are going to look at the Danny video and maybe some other stuff. See you guys and give me about 2 minutes. We'll see you over there. Thank you guys so much.